Right then, it's starting to get a little bit boring now, isn't it? Because all the boots that I try are lasting 6, 7, 8 months. So we know the 6, 7, 8 months, and despite them saying that they're made in America, made in the UK, they are in fact made in China or something like that, apart from the hogs, which were the cheapest and were actually made in the UK. So that's got me thinking, instead of buying expensive boots, why don't I get the cheapest boots that I can find and see how long they last? So I'm on eBay. I found these 30 quid. They've got the zip up the side, everything I want. They haven't got a little loopy thing at the back, but 30 quid. They're going to be made in China, but at least they're not lying about being made in China. The Caterpillars said they were made in America and they weren't. Right, let's try them. Right, get my mouse. Let's buy these bad boys. I've lost my mouse again. There we go. Sorted. Well, Jack's enjoying the video, aren't you, Jack? Yes. Right, lovely sunny day. Nice and early in the morning. So we've got nice weather. It was chucking it down yesterday. I've got my boots, of which I have the Dr. Martens 6 months. My grinders 7 months. Hogs 1 year 7 months, and the only ones to be made in Britain, Scotland. They're made. Caterpillars 6 months. Magnum about 7 months, and Dickies, which was my last pair, lasting 9 months. I've also got a cup of tea. I need a slurp of that. Ah, there we go. And we have some new boots and a tripod stand. So I'm just going to pop you on there. Here we go then. So as you saw, 30 quid. They're going to be made in China. So what I'm interested in is, will they last as long as the expensive high quality, well, I say high quality, big name brands is what I should say. I shan't call them high quality because so far I don't think they've been high quality really. They've been more a nice brand name. Stick that in the bin. They've been a nice brand name, but cheap quality boots made in China. That doesn't look bad, you know. That does not look bad. Let's look inside. That's what we get. They look alright, you know. Right, let's just set you up here, pal. Can you see much there? Let's pull them out. Actually, they are very light. They're very light. The Magnums were light, and they are lighter than the Magnums. I did notice the box felt quite light. What's that? You get spare laces. You don't get spare laces with the others. So let's get rid of the box. I didn't know you get spare laces. So 30 quid and you get spare laces as well. I wasn't expecting that. It's nice to have a surprise, isn't it? Spare laces. I think with Doc Martens I did go for a pair of laces. There wasn't any. They're not the original laces. Right, let's pull these out. Cardboard inserts. We don't want them either, do we? So, let's just see. We have got, that looks a bit flimsy if I'm honest. And you have got the zip. Now let's have a look-see. Let's have a look-see. Right, so we've got the CE0362 MGF for the size 9. Yeah, and there's the made in China. You know, right, I'll trample it to one side so you can see. There's the made in China bit. Now that sticker sure I've seen that before. Ah. Yeah, I'm thinking of the caterpillars. It's not the same, but it looks very similar to the one in the caterpillars, which were 120 quid and 30 quid. Also very similar to Doc Martens. So we have Max Steel. They do feel light. I'm not sure, they might feel a bit flimsy as well. But yeah, Max Steel, it's a no-name make. Tread looks good. They're slip resistant and oil resistant. Obviously still toe capped. Let's have a look. What are they? Still toe capped. Meets European standard code, industrial cleaning of damp cloth. I'm pretty sure they're steel toe capped. There's something in there. They feel light though for steel toe caps. They do feel light. They are toe caps anyway. But there's not a lot to say on them. The only thing I've noticed, I haven't got my little thing there. Like my dickies, I've got that bit. I can really yank them on. I'm lacking that. There's nothing. Some of them have nothing of a tiny little flap thing, but there's nothing at all with these. So, but that said, would I pay £110 extra just to have a flappy thing there? Like the Magnums, they've got that little stupid thing which you can't grip. The same with the Caterpillars. They've got a tiny little thing that you can't grip. So the Dickies, they have got that, which you can give them a good yank on, which is nice. Right. Let's just see what it says in the box. I'm interested to know. It doesn't say. They're probably plastic toe caps and they'll disintegrate when something heavy lands on my foot. But it does say Max Steel, meets European standards, so they've got the EU thing on them, the European standards, so they've got to be good, they've got to be strong enough. They have. If the next video clip is me in hospital with a squashed foot, then you know they don't work. Right, the next thing for me to do really is try them on and wear them for a week, innit? I can't tell you how comfortable they are. They look alright though, they look the job. They do feel a little bit lighter though and a bit flimsier than the others. But if they can last 6 months and they're comfortable, is it worth spending 120 quid on boots when you can get these for 30 quid? That's the question I'm going to answer. Right, I shall see you in a couple of seconds. So, I've been wearing the cheap boots for a month. How are they going? And to be fair, they're going alright. First things first, comfort. And they're not as comfortable as, say, the Caterpillars. And they do feel like cheap boots, like everything feels thin and flimsy. And they do feel a bit drafty as well. However, if you live in a hot country, having a nice draft is good, isn't it? But in the winter, yeah, I suspect they're going to be a bit cold. However, I could always get a nice big thick pair of thermal socks, and that should do it, shouldn't it? So it means I can have cool feet in the summer and nice warm feet in the winter. Whereas, you know, say again with the with my Caterpillars, they were quite warm, you know, and there's not a lot you can do about that. They were winter boots. Yeah, like I say, this is a bit flimsy, and there's not a lot of leather. There's a lot of this cheap material, which is, you know, I think a bit drafty. That said, they're not uncomfortable. Nothing's rubbing, nothing hurts. I can wear them all day, and I'm not in any pain. So yeah, you can feel they are cheap, but they are cheap. So, you know, it's better than buying expensive and having cheap, innit? There are a couple of things, like I say, that is a little bit and the zip sometimes gets stuck. It's not a best quality zip. They do it, but sometimes it'll jam. So there are a few issues there. The zip will sometimes jam. That feels a bit weak. Also, the leather is very thin. Like I said, they are very flexible, but the leather's rather thin. I don't know if you can see that. I shall try and we're dark, but you can see that there, and you can see how thin the leather is. There's hardly anything. Very, very thin leather. Very thin indeed. So there's not much of it because you got a lot of the material, and the leather that you have got is rather thin, but it does allow them to flex a bit more. I haven't ridden the motorbike in these yet because my motorbike's got no MOT. Because I've been working that many hours, I can't get the motorbike in for its MOT. I only have Sundays off, and I can't find anyone to MOT it on a Sunday. I've not been able to ride my bike. The grip is good. I'm not going wee splat. They are the oil resistant ones. Can't complain with the grip at all. The soles are quite thin. They're not very comfortable. Well, I wouldn't say that they're uncomfortable, but when you jump out the trailer and stuff like that, you can feel it. You know, there's no air cushioning or anything like that. There's nothing sophisticated there. You just basically got rubber on your feet. That said, they do grip. Some interesting thing. I don't think the best view of this really. It's a bit dark. It's chucking it down at the moment. The weather is not nice. But there it is. So you can see the Max Master badge there. That looks like it's going to pop out to me very soon. If I do that, you can almost see it. Perhaps if I put it on top there. But yeah, it does look like it's going to pop out. I'm trying to get a good angle on it. It's always difficult getting a good angle. Stop rocking, but yeah, if I do that, it does look like it's gonna pop out, doesn't it? And it probably will if I pulled that hard enough with my finger. However, they are a cheap pair of boots, you can't forget that. I didn't pay much money for them. I just wanted to see what a cheap pair of boots are like compared to the expensive pairs I've been trying. I think if I was blindfolded and I put them on my feet, I could tell I've got a cheap pair of boots on. You can tell, you can definitely feel, but you get used to the feeling. After a couple of weeks, that cheap boot feeling becomes normal, and you don't pay any attention to it. So when I buy my next pair of boots to test, I'll probably feel really posh and expensive and top quality, you know. Yeah, but that's some cheap boots. Max Steel. That's 1 month of wear. So the tread's good. The tread is good, other than that looking like it's going to pop out. And I have got that there. I shall show you the other one. There we go. I was showing you the worst one. I haven't done anything. This is my left foot. I haven't done anything with the toes on this one. But say this is the one. The zip sometimes jams about halfway up. In the morning, when I'm trying to get them up, well, it's going to go up now, isn't it? It'll go all the way up now. But yeah, sometimes I do find the zip jams, which is a little bit annoying. I haven't used a spare pair of laces yet though. But yeah, tread is good. So that's 1 month. And I think if these last 6 months, then they've put all the other expensive boots to shame. You know, my Doc Martens and my Grinders and my Caterpillars. If these manage to last 6 months, then they'll put those to shame. I mean, they're not quite as comfortable, but not uncomfortable. And a quarter of the price at 30 quid. Well, they weren't even 30 quid, I think they were £29.50 or something like that. I've forgotten the price now. I think they were like £29 or something like that, around about that, but we'll call it 30. We'll round it up to 30. So not bad for 30 quid. Yeah, you haven't got a nice name, Max Steel. It's not the best of names. But they are nice and light. When I say they're flimsy, they do feel flimsy, but this means they're nice and light as well. So, swings and roundabouts, innit? Right, we'll see how much longer they last. There we go. 3 months of the boots. So how are they doing? Well, let's have a look at them, shall we? I'm down here. Oh, go on. Right, they're not doing too bad. They're holding up. No splits. There's a few scuffs. If I turn him round, there are a few scuffs on the toe. But that's about it really on the top. Zip does sometimes jam. You can tell it's a cheap zip. And say this, it's still working. It just feels a bit cheap and nasty, but it works. Yeah, so just them. They're still comfortable. The insides are good. I don't know if you can see the inside if I stick the camera down, but yeah, they're good. They're well, I'd say they're not as comfortable as the top boots, but they're not uncomfortable, and you get used to them. Tread again. That's 3 months of tread. And as I suspected, that is gone. I thought that was going to pop out, but they're not leaking. So it ain't the end of the world, is it? And that's the bit where it says Max Steel. Yes. Yeah, not bad at all, is it? For 3 months. So far they're halfway. If they can last another 3 months, then they're as good as the top brand boots. We'll get the other one. This is my left foot. Not as badly scuffed, but then it is my left foot. I guess I kick things more than my right. Again, on this one, that's gone. There was a little bit of a lump there and there, taken out of the sole, but again, no leaks and plenty of tread. So, what more can I say? The Max Steels are working at the moment. Not bad at all, eh? Not bad at all. So if they can last another 3 months, then they're better value than the top brand boots, basically. It'd be interesting to see how long they do last. Should we be buying cheap boots rather than the expensive ones? What do you reckon? I used to always think you pay for what you get. You buy cheap, you get cheap. I'm starting to change my mind a little bit on the side of boots anyway. I am starting to change my mind a tiny bit, because the cheap ones seem to be as good as the expensive ones in some ways. You just don't have the designer name. I think all you're paying for is a designer name, I think. Right, so the next one will be 6 months, unless they don't live that long. Let's find out, shall we? I have got a damp foot. Oh man, wet tootsies. Oh. And it's a shame because well, I'm going to say they lasted 6 months, but today, show my diary, is the 12th, and if you look at my diary, I'm trying to see you can see it. You go over that page, and there's my marker for boots have lasted 6 months. So on the 17th they would have been 6 months old. They've made it to the 12th. Oh dear. So the cheap boots, the uppers haven't done too bad when you think about it. The Doc Martens and the Grinders, the uppers went. These, they've gone, you know, there is marks there, but they're not leaking. So the uppers have actually survived, be it being a bit scruffy. When I investigated why I've got a damp foot, well, there's your answer there. That's my damp foot. And I'm suddenly getting wet. They've suddenly just split without warning. And there's a massive hole there. trousers, which I did, I'm still wearing them. They're still good. No rips, tears. They are tough trousers. And these must be a year old now, so the Dickies trousers have lasted longer than the boots did. They are good trousers. With the trousers, I just wish I had zip pockets, because sometimes when I'm climbing in and out of things, if I've got loose change in my pocket, the loose change falls out. I just wish I had zip pockets. They do them with zip pockets, but they're not trousers that are as tough as these. They're slightly weaker trousers, so I just wish they did these trousers with zip pockets. Never mind. Right, so that is it. The cheap boots lasted me 6 months, so my theory was right. You buy cheap boots, they will last as long as normal boots. However, my next boots, I'm not going to tell you what they are made in the UK. Now, the last boots I had that were made in the UK were my Hogs, which were made in Scotland. They lasted a year and 7 months, which wasn't bad, because I paid 45 quid for them. These ones I've paid a bit more for, but they are UK made, definitely UK made, or so it says on the website. I better not find the made in China sticker on the sole, and I will look. But yeah, according to the website, they are made in the